Thank you for your interest in listening to what I would have to present to you. My name is Professor Hippolyte Amade, Global Brand Ambassador for Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas Limited, and also a Global Brand Ambassador for Imperial College London, United Kingdom. In terms of what I do, I'm a professor at the Imperial College London in the Department of Bioengineering. And my presentation is coming on the heels of the award that is referred to as the Nigerian Prize for Science, which came to me in 2023, and for which the LNNG is giving me the platform to speak to people who might wish to partner with us to make a great change, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa as a whole. So this is all about investing to save numerous tiny lives, neonatal lives that are being lost in Africa in their great numbers, and which have become a very big issue on the global stage. So these are frontier innovations that can effectively empower the low and middle income countries of the world in order to save so many neonatal lives. So it's all about what is going on in Nigeria. As you can see from this slide, in the last couple of years, essentially from 2015, end of Millennium Development Goal, the daily neonatal mortality in Nigeria had been steadily on the increase, on the rise. And we are trying to see what we can do to reverse this trend. This trend and give the Nigerian babies the opportunity to live and to survive. So I have a global health mantra, which is all about ensuring that the low and middle income countries of the world are rather empowered. I belong to Imperial College London, and Imperial is a top university in the world. In this university, we think that we are able to push scientific boundaries. We can make technology happen, and we have the passion. I particularly have the passion to solve this problem in Nigeria and Africa, provided I find the partners that can make it happen. Technology sorted, partners not sorted. And this is the reason I am making this presentation, so that you may be able to find where you can fit into this whole structure, and together we will deliver the gift of life to so many babies that are otherwise losing their lives. As a recap, the LNNG premiered this on the 13th of October 2023.
My first pregnancy ended with intrauterine fetal demise. What that means is that my baby died in the womb at 36 weeks and 4 days. Some of the signs I saw that led to my first baby's demise, I started noticing them in this second one. So I was really afraid.
I understand baby is just less than 24 hours old, and I can see that the baby is distressed. So there must be a lot of respiratory support going on at the moment. The temperature I'm seeing there, 35 degrees C, I should expect this to be higher than that. but confirm to me that baby is thermally stable. What was baby's vital sign temperature the last time?
37.2.
Oh, excellent. Okay, that's fine then. Breeding concept involves everyone. And there's no person who can sustain his or her life without constant, continuous breathing. We are a population of 280 million people, but we bury 846 babies every single day. So my dream was to strategically identify all the various pitfalls and components of this problem, study them scientifically, and provide decisive solutions. And this I have done with the full package of my neonatal rescue scheme. I needed to create a technology that the Nigerian Naira could buy. I also had a challenge of creating a system that will be able to thrive in the face of a very poor power supply, because this is a life support device. It's not supposed to go off. So when you are done with the air processing, the air that goes to the baby comes through the nasal prong, and that is what goes to the baby's nursery. My neonatal work in Nigeria has had a very high impact since 1996, when I began this at the special care baby unit of the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital. All through the time to date, it's been consistent development, introduction, pushing back of boundaries, demonstrating the bringing down of neonatal mortality, for example, within MENA region from 90% to 4% in a space of 5 years. Wherever a baby is born, my work is unique to them. When I got the news of the Nigerian Science Prize Award for 2023, I was happy. I'm actually looking at a bigger picture when Nigeria would have been delisted from that ugly group. Because I think that what I've created has got the capability of doing that.
At the end of the surgery, my baby was brought. I can't explain. So much gratitude to God.
My inspiration to focus on neonatal health was born out of passion to save vulnerable, innocent lives, to push the boundaries and narrow down Nigeria's global shame. Any engaged and challenged and empowered African mind can create the best technology that can solve the African problems. Yes, this baby was born by Providence on the 1st of October 2023. Apparently, the people doing this documentary had sent their cameraman to my unit at the village in Calabar just to video the facility, whilst they also planned for another team to come to my office at Imperial College to interview and video me and my laboratory. So it happened that suddenly there was this emergency and the baby was born, whilst the camera crew were still there in Calabar, and then the next day at Imperial College. So they came to Imperial College on the 2nd of October to video me, but I told them that they would have to wait until I finished my round on the baby, because normally I would be on call to stabilize such a baby on the polite heart, because the polite heart CPAP ventilator will have to help that baby to breathe until such a time when the baby is strong enough to start learning how to breathe on his own, of which the polite heart is the instrument that we'll also use to teach this baby how to breathe. And that expertise is required, and I have to be on call. So whilst the video crew were right there in my office at Imperial College in London, and the other set of video people were also right there at the village very close to Calabar, they decided to capture the event simultaneously whilst I was online, consulting remotely, discussing with the nurses in the unit, seeing the babies, and robotizing their hands to set the polite heart according to what the baby requires to keep this baby alive. Now, this is the practice I've done over and over again, staying from my office here in London and manipulating devices far away in Nigeria, and to save so many babies over the years. So they actually were able to capture what we already do very frequently. So what you see here happened at the same time. It was a simultaneous event. It was a two-way communication. It was real time.
I must say that the machine has given a boost in my confidence level, being that there is no improvisation, which has always been a problem for us because we tend to work based on what we feel. But right now we work with the baby. Baby is also working with us to see how we can improve these are our respiratory rates, and I must say that it has been a very beautiful experience, and I've been able to also learn more about the machines. You can see behind me, I can set it up myself without supervision. And
But since the arrival of Polite Tank machine, which is a machine that's helped in how we take care of respiratory support to our newborn babies, and how we are able to keep them alive, we've been able to actively and confidently take care of newborn babies with better outcomes for them, and with more confidence on our part as healthcare delivery officers at the facility. But with the coming of the machine, it has become very seamless and easier to take care of these tiny human beings, and transition from being a very distinct baby, a baby with lot of labored breathing, into a baby that will now be quietly breathing and ready to be discharged, becomes something very interesting. And in fact, parents themselves are so wow at the level of what has happened to us in the past 1 year with the coming of this machine right here.
As you heard from the video, this is a country of over 200 million people. Daily neonatal mortality rate is 846 baby every day. This is a huge number. And the sad thing is that it's only 18% of the needy neonates that have got access to the existing special care baby units, which are found at the Nigerian tertiary hospitals, that is the teaching hospitals and the federal medical centers. More than 80% remaining neonates have got no access whatsoever to a special care baby intervention. So wherever they are born, it is either they are rushed to the tertiary hospitals wherever they are found, or they stay in the villages and in the fringes of the cities where they are, and they will die there. Many of them are not even able to make the journeys to these tertiary hospitals that are found at the heart of the big cities. In location wise, this huge number of neonates that have got no access are mainly located at the rural areas and at the fringes of the big cities. And the kind of facilities that are nearest to them are the primary healthcare centers and the general hospitals. Unfortunately, these classes of facilities in Nigeria do not run special care baby centers like the teaching hospitals. So here lies the gap for our search for partnership so that we can take our technologies that are being crafted to operate not just in the big cities, but even in the remote locations of the world, no matter how remotely located within the hinterlands that a region is. Our devices have been structured to make use of the local people and the abundant solar energy through our sun to be able to provide neonatal practice in such locations. This is basically what we're searching for. So for over 27 years, I have consistently and with concise understanding tried to create a range of devices, procedures, and methods that will make it possible to practice neonatology in far remotely located places of the world. And this is what this particular slide is showing. I don't want to go too much into details into this slide, but that could be fully explained to the interested parties. In terms of my operational framework in the last 27 years, of course, I belong to bioengineering department of Imperial College London, which is the second largest bioengineering department in the world. And I have had a huge amount of support from my university, especially with my willingness to take all my wealth of knowledge from here in London at Imperial College to Africa, to my own country, that I may be able to solve a huge problem that they seem not to know how to solve it. So with the help of Imperial College, we have operated a neonatal concerns organization that is in charge or saddled with the help to enable me create this scientific research. And then we also have the Neonatal Concerns Limited, which is an operational arm of our organization that help to take these technologies to implement them at various hospitals in Nigeria. In the last 27 years, we have covered hospitals from Calabar, Port Harcourt, down to Kano, Katsina, Lagos, Abeokuta, and over 30 tertiary hospitals have had some bit of impact of this practice as we developed the technologies over time and trial them across all these tertiary institutions in Nigeria. And over the years, I've had a huge number of alumni. These are mentees that passed through my trainings. They are doctors, they are nurses, they are technicians. And sometime in 2019, they decided to come together to form the Hippolyte Neonatal Healthcare Foundation as a means for them to leverage their desire to volunteer to help every center that wants to set up these classes of devices and healthcare system that we have developed. And all these things came together by 2022 in our publication of our proof of concept, and this was delivered. And it coincided with the time when NLNG found me as a worthy recipient of the Nigerian Prize for Science 2023. So they blew the horn. And today I'm here presenting to you fully innovated and delivered set of devices. These are low carbon footprint neonatal technologies integrated into full package of 7 interventions and having the full coverage of basic facility practice just at the fraction of the normal cost of setting these things up in the conventional teaching hospital. So we have an opportunity to take our medicine to the hinterlands where the 80% of the babies are, and right there we save them. We are not telling them to travel because they are not able to make the journey. We take the technology to them, we take our medicine to them right where they are and give them the best gift, which is the gift of life, that they might be able to survive. So here we are at the point of delivering this good to the tiny babies in Nigeria. But we are going to do it through existing facilities. These are facilities like general hospitals and primary healthcare centers. But what is missing here, the missing link, is the partner that will enable us to travel through the primary healthcare center and general hospitals to deliver to the neonates across Nigeria. The investment here is cash, but the harvest is quantifiable number of lives saved, and of course, cash returns. But these things we will go into detail to explain. Now, the Nigerian map you are seeing there, every red dot you see there represents the cities, tertiary hospitals where I have practiced in person. So I'm known all over Nigeria. Every part of Nigeria knows the name, not just the name, but I've seen me. I've come and practiced locally. I've trained doctors, I've seen patients, I've trained technicians and nurses, I've empowered them, and on them, they will all show up to help the rest of the Nigerian babies. So because I know what is happening across Nigeria, I can confidently tell you that our innovative technologies are far better, because these technologies, you can set them up at half the cost of setting up the conventional SCBUs in the tertiary hospitals. It will take you just a quarter of the operational cost to run these centers. That is 100% sustainable power, because we are harvesting on site from the sun. That is sustainable basic devices, because our volunteer technicians will always be available to guide and to help. And we are close to 80% of neonates. So we have the demand is there. We can save them, because there's none to save them. They will all rush to us. We would need just a quarter of the treatment cost from them. So the problem of them not showing up because they do not have money to pay would have been partly sorted. Many of these parents would not want to travel to the big cities with their babies, because they don't have the money to travel. They don't have the money to stay in a hotel or places they're going to stay, and the money to stay away from home to be able to spend like 1 month waiting for their baby to recover. Because of it, they give up usually. But here we're bringing the medicine right to the localities where they are. They cannot even operate from their homes. So we would have the high patient traffic, and we will have the high turnover. So for people who are more interested in cash return, you're going to get it. You're interested in saving lives, which is the most important return. We will count the numbers. We will mark the baseline. And in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, we will be able to say, you have smashed mortality rate from X percentage down to X percentage. And you can take this to the global stage to make your noise. And every person will respect you. No person will think that you're idle. Every person will think that you have impacted the world, you have impacted Nigeria, and you have delivered the most important thing, which is the gift of life, to the people that demand it, that need it most. So here we are talking about the partners. Partners can decide to deliver based on charity or based on for profit. Partners can choose to deliver just segments of interventions, like the respiratory support devices that NLNG has showcased is 1 out of 7. Partners can decide to deliver stuff like thermoneutral devices and so on. Partners can also decide to establish a complete low carbon footprint hub center facilities, just like we have it at Amina Center in Mina. They can decide to host site listings in existing general hospitals. Partners may also decide to establish a neo-room facility, such as we have at the Calabar Women and Children Hospital, in any low traffic general hospital or a primary healthcare center of their choice. The return on investment, I have already spoken, is neonatal lives. That's number 1. Typically, 85% of mortality reduction has happened at Amina Center over a period of 5 years. And this is one big take home for Governor Bello, who made that to happen. All through his life, he can be talking about reducing mortality rate from 90% to 4%. All that he did was just to create that avenue for that investment to happen. And we delivered the technology, we delivered the healthcare system, and it is saving lives. It will also not just harvesting these lives and taking them as your take home. You can also take home cash. But this will also depend on how you are going to discuss the set rules with us and the host hospitals, so that you can actually determine what will be the markups, so that at the end of the day, when the center would have sustained itself, whatever is left behind will be declared as profit, and you will determine how you take home your cash returns. But most importantly, I want to give you an idea, just a general idea of the cost of setting up these facilities. If you want to set up, perhaps, for example, just a single unit of Polite CPAP device. This is a device that in 2017 crashed the cost of CPAP application in Nigeria from 6.5 million naira to just 750,000 naira. So, and that's about 2,150 US dollars. But the cost of setting it up will be like $2,700. So if you want to just pick one Polite Heart CPAP and you want to give it to any center, this is what it's going to cost you. You can do it, give it to them in charity. You can also ask them to make returns to you. I don't know. The choice is yours, depending on the recipient hospital, which we are going to negotiate and discuss this thing with. You may also decide to set up a full-blown respiratory support technologies in full, and this is like delivering that entire intervention to a tertiary hospital center, for example, where they will have this application in full strength, and they will be able to cover the traffic of babies that will require it. And typically, you will require 4 units of Polite Heart CPAP, 6 outlets of the Polite oxygen splitter system, which is a device that you use to distribute oxygen, at least 1 oxygen generator, and 4 kVA solar supply system. And this tech full is going to cost the neighborhood of $19,500 to set up. You may also think in terms of other interventions, like the supply of thermometer systems, incubators, resuscitators, and all the procedures that we put in place. You may also decide to say, no, I want to go to the fringes of the city and to the hinterlands. I want to set up a new room like we have in that village near Calabar. It is a 10-cot space neo room. And to set up a hub center like we have in Mina, the devices and all the setting up there with all the gadgets, which I'm going to show later on, will cost you about 560,000 US dollars. And to set up a live camp, which is a mobile version of the neo room, and this is a version that you can always, anytime you run out of agreement with the host facility, you just get your forklift, get your trailer, and then you pick up your center and go to the next facility that is happy and prepared to host you based on your terms. I would like to just play a typical example of what a neo room facility looks like. the Calabar New Room is a show of the hub center, the typical hub center like we have set up at Owerri. You may also decide to partner with us in human capacity building like we conceptualized in 2014. This is an idea that Imperial College supported me to create to enable Nigerians, local Nigerians, to be recruited in a collaborating university where we can collaborate to build capacity on this young people, after which they would have become useful in making sure that these class of technologies are maintained going forward from the time of my retirement, so that Nigeria would not just not have me around again, but they would have had multiple young Nigerians that have been duplicated based on the standard of technology I've created. So thank you so much. Any person who is interested in capacity building uh, should just also show up, because we have this idea that needs to be resurrected. And in conclusion, I would say the neonatal rescue scheme has enabled simplified neonatal devices that are operable by nurses and local practitioners. Finally, special care neonatal nursing and intervention can happen anywhere in the hinterlands of Nigeria. Hence, we have taken our medicine to the neonates to save them right where they are. And I want to say thank you for everyone who are taking the time to listen to me.